This is the first part of what will hopefully be a longer poem at some point about sort of smell and empire. This is sort of mainly Ramsey's part. We'll see how it goes.
It's based on a conversation I had with a member of BBC Arabia, and the worst advice I ever got about being an artist ever. So very ill, can't smell anything, which is kind of ironic. So Pyramid diaspora. It hits like a nose on itself, and I smell food I cannot name, and that tastes delicious. What do you call that when you eat with your eyes? He tells me,
the best way to write a story is to think about home and imagine if it was gone.
And then he says,
to make it as an artist is not about starving, it is the carving of the colors of skin and the nose hitting itself brown or olive, but it has to skin and it has to hit itself so they learn how to listen.
So I drew a picture of the pyramids, and all the birthday cards they gave me as a child had pyramids on them, and I think about getting a tattoo of the pyramids, and the rocks scatter like a rock hitting itself on the skin of the nose of the skin of the Sphinx as the nose of the Sphinx crumbles off into the sands of the deserts of Cairo. They're beautiful because I've seen them, and one day a boy goes home to reconnect with his nose, like on the nose, like this poem is on the nose, like the nose of the Sphinx as it falls off the Sphinx in the deserts of the sands of Cairo. And on the nose of the chair, there is nothing. And I ask him if he means play up the skin and brag about food I cannot cook, join stories that are not mine, and I ask him if he thinks you can smell stories, and he says,
yes, with your nose.
And this man works for the BBC, and he offers me a smoke.
Have a smoke, it lengthens the smell.
And I take the cigarette, and I smoke the cigarette, Egyptianly. And I walk across the riverbed and pray for my people in a church that is a crater at best, and at the very least smoke that is heavy, like an Egyptian mood on the Egyptian water. And I laugh Egyptianly about the state of the world because I've been told we are poetic people. So is the shisha as it comes out of the nose of my Egyptian eyes. I ask him, do you ever think about where you're from? What the countryside smelled like before they built your house? And he says,
I remember the air in the hills.
The morning that his father left Lebanon. I ask him what he thinks my story smells like, and he tells me that
the scent is cloudy on the nose of the Thames, maybe not the Nile.
That there is some denial in me, some contradiction of my nose, of my psyche, and it smells exotic and not. It is a mix of the future and the past and the nose of the present, and he smells his father fleeing Beirut on my skin, and I begin to question if there is a background test when you interview for the BBC.
No.
Or if they just give you a quick sniff
yes.
and slap you in front of your grandmother's cooking and ask you to spit on it to dilute the flavor. What is that called when it all comes out of your mouth before they give you a chance to eat it, but they still want to see what your vomit smells like, because maybe in that intersection there is a story on the nose that they can spray you with all those strong Egyptian perfumes to spice up that inner lining
of a defining coming-of-age story about reconnecting to your roots.
And I think I can smell his father and the countryside outside Beirut, but I don't imagine that's what stories smell like, so I can't be sure what the nose is the nose, is the nose, is the nose, is the nose,
the nose.